Yes, hello. Yes, sir. It's Wednesday night. Yes, fantasy football night. That's correct. Line is forming to the right. Yeah, both fantasy leagues as well as the Survivor League. Correct. We'll be covering all that, sir. Yeah, some people did look like shit this week. Yeah, there were some that looked all right. We'll get to all that. Yes, ma'am. Mini bars open. It's always open. VIP to the right. Line is to the left, please. Yes, Wednesday night, fantasy football night. Always in season. Hardcore Challenge Live, yes. Commish is in the house, yes, he will be hosting.
T-minus 1 minute. T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Rips the helmet off Rudolph's head and then eventually swings it and hits him in the head.
1, 2, 3, where you not hardcore? Let you live hardcore. And the letter of the rich was way hardcore. Yeah! Now we're rocking.
What's up, football fans, Raider Nation, fantasy football fans? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to Hardcore Challenge Live, the official podcast of the Hardcore Challenge, which, if you didn't know, just so happens to be the pinnacle of fantasy football competition. Because if you're not playing in the Hardcore Challenge, as some of our members, maybe David, found out, it is just not your average fantasy football league. Somebody caught a fucking whooping this weekend. Oh, I got it figured out. This is nothing, he says. Yeah. Fantasy football karma said, bah! Damn! There'll be none of that. Shit, I've been playing this shit for 20 years. I still ain't got it figured out. If you got it figured out, tell me. Fuck. It's fantasy football. She can be your lover, and she can be your bitch all in the same week. Damn. Blown Achilles. We seen all kinds of shit go down in the first week, man. All kinds of shit. We got a lot to get into. This is the pinnacle of fantasy football competition that is the Hardcore Challenge. Season 15 of our OG Hardcore Challenge League. 32 owners, 2 conferences. Mirrors the National Football League and our All Raider Nation Hardcore Challenge League. 20 owners, all repping the silver and black from all over North America, battling it out. Let's get to it, shall we? We got a lot to touch on this evening. Just 1 week is needed, he says. We'll see. We'll be watching. Don't think we won't be watching. All right, let's get to the game of the weeks, shall we? From week 1.
It's time
Is this not why you were here?
for the Hardcore Challenge Game of the Week.
Game of the week in the big league. Bad Company finishes off DACO Tuesdays. It wasn't as close as we thought it was going to be. 186-158. A solid win by Jake from State Farm as he steps out. Takes an early lead of the Great White North in the AFC with the big win in the Game of the Week in our big league. In the All Raider Nation League Game of the Week. Sax offenders. Black Hole, I don't know. They didn't get off the bus, missed the motherfucking plane from Ohio. I don't know what the deal was, but they didn't make it. I mean, this was an inter-Ohio battle, I believe. So I don't know. They got like lost walking across the fucking street. What the fuck happened here, Lines? Defending champ just comes out and fucking just shits all down himself right in week 1. I mean, this was embarrassing. It's just this was a terrible way to start out the season as the defending champ. Embarrassment. I mean, let's go look at that score, shall we? 130 to 199. I mean, just look at this bar graph. Look at that. Ugh, that's brutal. That's brutal.
Game over. Somebody call security.
We're gonna have. Oh, don't you be talking about embarrassing, JoJo. We ain't even got to you yet. You just be waiting in the wings for your moment in the I guess the sun, if you want to call it. You ain't getting off that easy. Oh no. So that's our games of the week. Those are our 2 games of the week from last week. One was a little closer than the other, but that's okay. You never know what you're gonna get in week 1. Now, of course, we did have outside of those games of the week, we did have our big ballers of the week in both of our leagues.
There's a platform stage. People pimping.
This week's big ballers, man, we got dueling big ballers in the OG League as 2 owners tapped 207 in the OG League 1 in the AFC, as this was an absolute fucking shootout right here. This was the game of the league basically across the board, man. 202 to 207. I mean, look at this line graph. This thing was down to the wire all the way through, man. I mean, look at the scoring in this thing. This was a game right here. This was a game. And to put up 202 in week 1 and come away with an L, man, you are one unhappy dude, Kent. That sucks. But Roger the Dodger gets the, with Emmett, who is the biggest baller in the AFC and biggest baller over in the NFC. Willie coming out swinging, just dropping bombs here on Bucknuts, man. I picked Bucknuts to win the fucking NFC, and they just come out tripping over their dick in week 1. I don't know what's up with this performance here by Bucknuts, but this wasn't even close. He was never even in the game. I mean, he was hanging out with Lines. I don't know, what the hell, what were you guys doing? Huffing paint? What the hell was going on with you two today? Good Lord. My God. Well, we'll see how they bounce back in week 2. We'll see how they bounce back in week 2. But the Bandits look good. Congratulations, Willie. Nice. Give Willie a little round of applause there for coming out solid out of the gate. Now, we go to the top. Where do we go from there? Oh, hold on. We got one more yet. I almost forgot. We have the All Raider Nation League Big Baller, and that's a flash prize. And that would be Raider Richie absolutely handing fantasy karma to David and the Autumn Pirate. He had it all figured out. The draft was perfect. Had her pegged. Yeah, let's go look at that score, shall we? You want to talk beatdown? This was a beatdown. This was the biggest baller of them all across all of the Hardcore Challenge Leagues. 233. Raider Richie with the highest score. And this gets you a flash prize in the All Raider Nation League. So he's already got, I think you've already, I got a package already going for you. So I will add your flash prize to that one. Save myself some posters. There we go. There we go. Damn. That's a fucking smack in there. 230. Look at the difference in size of these bars. I mean, if you were standing at the urinal with that, you'd be embarrassed. That's sad. That's sad. All right, moving along. Oh, I'm just not right in the fucking head some days. All right, Raider Richie, biggest baller of them all, over in the Raider Nation League. But like I said, we go to the top, and if you go to the top, you gotta go to the bottom next. You gotta go to the bottom, and we gotta hit the low ballers. The low ballers in the OG League. The Emperors over in the NFC put up a meager 109. This was actually the lowest score across the entire Hardcore Challenge landscape between both leagues. This was an epic performance. So you can hold a little solace, I guess, and hang your hat on that, JoJo, that you're not absolutely the lowest baller of them all, but you are the lowest baller in the Silver and Black All Raider Nation League. The lowest baller of them all, come out of the gate with a meager 117, and that's just not what you want to see. That's just not what you want to see in week one. Rough one, JoJo. Rough start. You think you would have learned something over the course of the past 12 months in fantasy football? But it remains to be seen. We'll see. Moving on. The Survivor League. Speaking of survivors, oh my goodness, my God. It was hard to watch. It was a bloodbath. Absolute bloodbath. I mean, there were so many carcasses already after the Thursday night game that it was, I mean, just look at this. The majority of the Survivor League has already been eliminated in week one. Now, I still have yet to figure out exactly who Raider Nation for Life 909 is, who picked the Donkeys to win in week one, but they should be publicly shamed. But all of you that picked the Queefs, you should be right out there in the line and be ready to be publicly stoned, along with the Donkey fan. We'll throw like an extra rock at the one that picked the Donkey, but the rest of you should be stoned as well. How you gonna come out in an All Raider Nation Survivor League and pick the Queefs? The Queefs! So we're down to only 7 left. Only 7 left. And Travis here was the only one that kind of went out on a limb. The Ravens and the Commandos were your betting favorites in Vegas. The best odds favorite was Washington. The second was Baltimore. Hey, man, Travis just goes out on a fucking line. He says, fuck it, I'll take Philly. And he's in here with the rest of us. So we'll see if his fucking strategy works into week 2. But, you know, we know how well that fucking strategy has worked in fantasy football. It hasn't worked the best. But maybe it'll work in the Survivor League. We'll see. Although he did win. And I picked him. I'm betting on Travis this year. I have put him in the playoffs as a wild card. But I have put him in the playoffs before, and I've been horribly wrong. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. But that's our Survivor League. We are down to 7. The fucking 7. Good Lord. I thought by week 5, this league's over. This league will be over. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see who people are picking this week because I've already went through and made my selection. Legal roster. We had one owner, and I noticed that I haven't seen her in a lot of the shows. She's our one female owner in the Raider League, and they lost. this last week, so it was kind of a non-issue, but does not have the mandatory bench spot taken care of. I've messaged her, so I'm hoping to get that taken care of. If not, I will have to reach in and I will have to correct that roster myself, and I will do so. I would rather not, but I will do so because we will not have a team not comply. But I was watching week 1 and I saw that it wasn't going to affect anything, so I let it ride and went into deal with it afterwards. Of course, in the big league, everybody was golden. You guys all know the rules, man. It's very simple. We added an extra bench spot years ago when we flexed our roster and added the individual defensive players. We added that bench spot to support the defensive side of the ball directly. We did not add an extra bench spot so that you can hoard an extra offensive guy. We understand with the size of our leagues and the number of owners that are in it that you already have a depleted waiver pool that you are pulling talent from on a week-to-week basis. So that roster, that extra bench spot is not to deplete that talent pool and the waiver pool even further. Because if we got 16 owners in one conference and the Raider League, you got 20 owners and everybody's got an extra offensive guy on the bench, that's 20 fucking guys. Top guys that are taken out of the league that aren't available now to make weekly moves and waivers and fill out your team. And that's not the reason we added the bench spot. If we could make it so you could only put a fucking defensive guy in there, we would, but we don't have that capability. So that is on you as an owner to make sure that you have it right. And it is very fucking simple. That's about the only goddamn thing you can do, because the rest of the moves with your roster, it won't let you do them if you can't. The only other one is you can only have IR in your reserve spot. That's it. No PUP, no suspended, just IR. I've got IR guys in both my fucking teams in there right now because I've lost J.K. Dobbins and I lost the running back from Miami. They're both straight up on injured reserve and they're in my reserve spot. That's what it's for. If you lose a talented guy like J.K. Dobbins and you want to slide him down into your IR spot so that you can save him, maybe he comes back. He's not going to, but maybe he comes back and he's only on IR for, the first period, not the whole season. Then you don't have to lose a bench spot carrying that guy. That's why we added it. So that's it. Other than those two simple things, keep your roster legal. That's about it. Trades. I want to remind everybody, because I know everybody's going to start trading. I've already made a trade. Because I had to trade to fill in for J.K. Dobbins in the Raider League, who tore his shit up just like fucking Aaron Rodgers in week 1. Different shit, same week. But I lost him as well. Trades, 48-hour processing time. I'm a little more flexible in the Raider League. In the big league, you know the drill. It is 48 hours to the fucking T. We will let it run its course. And it's going to be 48 hours to the T. So if you want somebody playing in Thursday Night Football, you're going to need to have that trade in Tuesday night. So it's got 48 hours to process because you guys all voted in the veto time. Hey, I liked instant trades. I like, hey, it looks good, done. I liked it. Y'all voted me down. Fucking democracy. So it's our job as rules committee to uphold the damn rules, and that's the rules that you guys wanted. You wanted because and I get it. We all are on different time zones. We're in different fucking parts of North America. We all work different jobs, different shifts. Everybody should have a chance, because we're really playing for something in these leagues, especially in the big league, to see every trade come through and have a chance to voice if you're just like, hey, I just want to raise my hand and say that one's fucked up. You should have a right to say, hey, that one's fucked up. And I agree with that. So this gives a chance, 48 hours, it's fair. Because if you ain't raised your hand in 48 hours and say, hey, that's fucked up, then I'm sorry. Your voice doesn't matter. That means you weren't paying the fuck attention, and, sorry. You missed your vote. All right, last item of the show. Game of the week, week 2.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
It's time
Is this not why you are here?
for the Hardcore Challenge Game of the Week.
Game of the week, week 2's taking place over the NFC this week in season 15, as this one's got a lot of history here. Sean, lucky number 11, used to be Saint Sean, had 2 stints in the Raider Nation. or in the Hardcore Challenge OG League. I'd have to pull the. Hold on. Do I have the? I got it somewhere, but I didn't have it queued up. Did a stint, left for a couple of years, and then came back. These two have battled numerous times. Numerous times in the old league before the expansion, and now as well in the NFC. And this one's got a lot of history behind it. They're both battling from up in Canada, north of the border. A lot of history in this one. Lot of battles over the years, and I do believe many battles outside of this league as well. So this one's going to be interesting. Carol is a former champion. She is number 7 on our GOAT rankings. She is one of our winningest owners, and she is one of the powerhouses, perennial powerhouses of the NFC. Lucky number 11, Sean has been knocking on that door, knocking around there the last few seasons since he's been back. He's had a little bit of success. Carol's always been in the way. This would be a big one. They've both come out 1-0, starting out 2-0. Only got one more game in the first round of division play. This is a big one right here. Carol against Sean. Danny Dimes against Trevor Lawrence. Right now, lucky number 11's about a 20-point favorite. I just can't bet against Carol. I just can't bet against one of our GOATs, and I'm picking Carol to win this one. I am picking freaking fracking Football Time to win the game of the week in the Hardcore Challenge OG League. Now, over in the Raider Nation League, you come out and you're the biggest baller. One of the big ballers over there. Putting up some points, Haywood gang. I seen you putting up some points there in week 1. Came out with his homer draft last year. Regrouped well. Now look at you. Now look at you. Veteran. Comes out big points in week 1. And now he's in the game of the week in week 2 against Dino, who also came out looking strong in week 1 as well. Both are sitting at 1-0. And this is our game of the week over in the All Raider Nation League. Right now, 143 to 135. Hit Squad with a slight 8-point projection win. The Haywood gang leaning on Sam Howell. It's tough for me to bet on Sam Howell. Just about as tough for me to be betting on Geno Smith. So neither one really strong at the quarterback position. Fairly strong, both of them, and fairly even projections at the running back position. Looking a little, I would lean a little bit in wide receiver, though, to the Haywood gang, and I think that's where this is going to be tipped. I think it's going to be through wide receiver play. I think Justin Jefferson's primed for a big game, bounce back game on Thursday night under the lights, and I think he could possibly be the big player. I'm picking the Haywood gang to win a close one in the game of the week over in the All Raider Nation League. Season 2 of the All Raider Nation League. And that is our damn rundown, and that is your show for this week. Thank you all. Good luck, each and every damn one of you. Get your rosters legal. Keep them legal. There's no reason there should not be a defensive player, an individual defensive player, a team defense, or a kicker on your bench at all time, filling that mandatory defensive spot. Also, make sure only IR spots are in your reserve position. Other than that, solid week 1. We had some big scores, middle of the road scores, some low scores. You see the guys that are struggling. I see my opponent in the big league, Bucker Raider. I see you over there. Fucking basically redrafted his team today, Reggie. Reggie's like, after fucking 1 week, Reggie's like, fuck this. I need a whole new team. But he did lose Aaron. He had Aaron Rodgers, and his team just went to shit quick. So it was an interesting week 1, and I know it is going to be an interesting and exciting week 2 as well. Thank you all for joining me for another edition of Hardcore Challenge Live. It is always fantasy football night on Wednesday nights on Raider Reaction. Always. Thank you for joining me. We'll keep up with both these leagues all the way through, and we'll hang with our Survivor League until at least for a few more weeks, so there's no survivors left. Until next time, I'm out. Good luck and game on to everybody in your fantasy football world. Peace, love, Raider Nation.